Hi there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary and this is my Flosstube channel. So I printed all my notes out at work, but I didn't know that whoever was the last one to print did not refill the printer tray. So I printed out on this like really big paper. So that's what I'm looking at down here, like a little book. So it's been 2 weeks since my last Flosstube. So this one covers October 26th to November 7th, which is the day I'm filming. And I need to add like a little segment into my schedule. So usually I do like FFOs, fully finished objects, FOs, finished objects, new starts, whips, haul, and then plans. But I wanted to add at the beginning a little like shout out to like people that I've been watching because I've been really lax on that. So let's just start with a quick shout out. I just wanted to shout out Spicy Selena Crafts, and I believe she's the same user both on YouTube and Instagram, and I've been really into her channel lately. I don't know if she just recently started posting. I don't think she has too many videos out, but she stitches a lot of like really fun stuff or a lot of like really goofy stuff. She seems to be into like a lot of like more eclectic hobbies as well and things like that. So I've been really enjoying her. She's got a great personality, and she goes on like a lot of like little storytelling tangents, which I really like when it comes to this kind of content, because part of the fun is like you feel like you're getting to know somebody through their stitching, and part of that is just like them explaining like the backstory and stuff like that. So it does feel kind of like I'm chilling with a friend when I'm watching her videos. So I will have her channel linked down below if you guys want to go check her out. She seems like really sweet. I've never, interacted with her in any kind of form, but she seems cool. So, and I think she follows me on Instagram because I see her, I think, liking my stuff. So that's cool too. So then we have FOs and FFOs. So I don't have any fully finished objects this time, but I do have 3 finished objects. So I have 2 that kind of were carryover from the October Spooky Smalls. I showed you a lot of them in my last Flosstube. And then if you follow me on my Instagram, which is the same as my YouTube channel, but I will have that link down below as well, you've already seen all 3 of these. But the first one, I had just started it in my last video. This is the Quirky Quaker Yeti by Darling and Whimsy Design, and I stitched it on a 32 count 207 by Bestitch Me, and I used Sulky. So this is like a color conversion from the Sasquatch one, just like a little bonus kind of thing. And I know it looks a little bit washed out on the camera, but it's also a little bit like ghosty in real life. And I kind of like that because I feel like a Yeti is, he's naturally camouflaged in the snow. So having him a little bit camouflaged on the fabric, I think it works. Maybe that's my coat post, but I don't know. I think he's cute. So I finished all of the Quirky Quaker mythical creatures, including the bonus one. The next one was a SAF, and that's a start and finish, and this is Skeleton Xylophone by Sewing Starfish. And the reason I stitched this one is because I felt a little bit guilty about using a unicorn as one of my spooky smalls. So as penance, I stitched a 3,000 stitch piece, I guess. And this is stitched on, I gotta consult my notes, 18 count Shadow Ada by Picture This Plus. I used DMC, and I gotta tell you, I'm obsessed with this fabric, so much so that I might literally buy a yard of it when I have the money to afford a yard of fabric. But here is the pattern. It says there should be something on my organ donor card that says I want my skeleton used as a xylophone after I'm dead. And the colors on this very like chalkboardy gray black just look so good. I'm like, I keep coming into my craft room and I've had this sitting out and I just keep looking at it. It's a pretty big size. I kitted this up as a potential spooky small, not realizing that it's like 10 inches wide, even on 18 count. And here, I'll hold it up while I consult my notes. I often default to like, if I'm gonna stitch on black, I just grab like a black Ada, and I'm getting kind of sick of it because a lot of black Ada is really starchy, it's really stiff, and it shreds my floss. No matter what brand I use, I just feel like it's just the nature of the beast. And I don't know. But like the thing about black Ada is it offers a really stark contrast, which is sometimes what you want. But with this like softer kind of really, really dark gray or light black, I feel like it almost makes the colors stand out a little bit better. And so I have the other half of this, which will definitely get used. And then I went and I think I checked on 123 Stitch to see if they had any more in stock, because I was like, how much is it going to cost me to buy a yard of this? And I think they were out of stock, and I put myself as like notify me, but I can't remember. I really like the little like squiggly bits up in the corner. And as much as I really, really hate stitching text, but I love a lot of patterns that have text, it's just so like spindly. It takes me longer to stitch words and letters, but it was worth it. I also really like the detail of the word xylophone having all like the fun colors on it. And then the last finished object I have, I think it's actually called obdurate, maybe, but I've been calling it I Will Face God or I Will Walk Backwards or any like variation on that. The entire time I've been stitching it, because I forgot that on the pattern it's called something else. And I stitched this on a 32 count cream and sugar linen by Fibrana Whim with DMC. This was a Whipco call for the month of November, and the call was 2,000 stitches, but I just had like just over 3,000 left, and I was like, I might as well just finish it, right? I didn't realize I was going to finish it so fast. I like 3 or 4 days of stitching at work and I managed to finish all, like, I think there was like 3,200 stitches left. So here is what it looks like. So this is from a tweet from like 2012 or something like that, from Drill, and it was, if they kick me out of the zoo for hollering at the animals, I will face God and walk backwards into hell. And my hair is everywhere. I just really like this like very classic look with such like an absurd saying. And so I stuck with all the called for. I don't know if this is the called for fabric or if I just picked something that was kind of light linen, but I bought 2 skeins of each tone of red specifically for this project, and I used about 1.5 skeins of each one. So good move me. I'm glad I did that. The border was not my favorite part, just because it's so repetitive. I like I like when every side of a border is different or something like that, because I get bored. And so it was kind of a slog, but once I forced myself to finish the border, and then I came in and I did the fun stuff. So, and the border matched when I got there, which is always a plus, didn't have to figure out what was going on there. But yeah, it was very cute, and I'm very happy that I finished this. What do you guys think? Should I do like a classic kind of like goldy ornate frame, or should I do a really plain like wooden frame? What do you guys think this would look good in? Let me know, because I do not have an eye for design. So those were my 3 finished objects, and I have 1 new start to show you guys. I think I started this on Halloween, which is kind of absurd, but this was one of my weekly starts. If you're new here, I'm starting a minimum of 1 project a week every weekend for the entirety of 2025, just because, why not? And this is from the Noël en Rouge pattern book. There's 4 patterns in this, and I've done 2 of them so far, and this is the 3rd one. This is the Santa one. It's by, have we all decided if it's Lila or Lila's studio? Because I think somebody told me and I forgot. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count ivory Jobelin by Witchelt with DMC, and I gotta tell you, I hate Jobelin. I think it's like the grossest texturally feeling fabric on the planet. It's kind of slippery, kind of slick. I'm just like, ugh. I bought like a few weird cuts of this when there was like some cross stitch store that was going out of business, and I was like, oh, let me try that. I've never heard of Jobelin. And it was like early on, and I got it in the mail, and I was like, oh, I hate this. And so I'm just trying to use it up, but I didn't get very far on this. I got literally 666 stitches. So here's where I am. This should have been easily finishable in, there's like a weird thing on there. This should have been finished in like the weekend, but like it's going to be a little, oh, I guess I probably showed you the picture, but it's going to be a little sweater, and I'm going to stitch all 4 of them and turn them into ornaments. But I was so tired from the week I had, and then it was like Halloween, and then we had a Halloween party on Saturday, that I didn't get very far. Like one of the days, I think I stitched 74 stitches all day. That was it, which is really weird for me. And then I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. And then on the other half of this, I'll stitch the last one, which I think I'm starting at the end of this month. So then I'll have all of these done. So that leads me into whips. I have 3 whips. So the first one I showed you guys last week. It was Halloween Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. I'm stitching this on 32 count Heartland by Picture This Plus with the DMC conversion because I just didn't feel like buying all the fancy floss. I literally added 73 stitches to this, but a whip is a whip, so I was going to show it to you guys anyways. I think if I remember correctly, all I added was that little like candy corn looking tree, but this should stitch up pretty fast. When I pull it out again, I don't think it'll take me more than a couple of sit downs to finish it up. So I want to finish this into a drum, and then I have the Valentine one as well. So it'll look really cute. And that was, I can't remember if I said, but that was one of my weekly starts from like the previous video. I took a month off in October from my Epic Pokemon stitch, but I'm back at it again. Epic Pokemon Generation 1 by Lord Libidin. I'm stitching this on 18 count White Ada by Kato using DMC. I wanted to be able to focus on my spooky smalls last month without feeling pressure. And I also felt like just taking a break might reinvigorate me back into this pattern, which it has, because I've added about 1,300 stitches this week so far. Today is Thursday, so I'm going to be adding a few more into that today. And then I will hit around like 1,600. I just need 1,600 stitches a week on this, and then I will be able to finish it by StitchCon of next year, which that would be kind of cool to be able to finish it at StitchCon and ring the bell and show it off. And I just realized I haven't even shown it. What am I doing? So it's still in the frame because I'm gonna work on this again tonight, but this week I've come and I've filled in a lot of like the kind of confetti stitches over here that I didn't have, and any color that I was filling in over here that was also over here I worked in. And then last night I did a bunch of this extra red down here before I went to bed, and tonight I will probably, what will I do? I think I'll finish any of the confetti that's around here and here, because then like that'll get me out of this section. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm trying to decide, next time I move the hoop or the frame, do I want to go over here, or do I want to just bring this all the way down so that I can cut off some of this excess fabric? I think I should bring it down. I do. I don't know if I want to do it that way necessarily, but I feel like it'll make my life easier because there is a lot more fabric on here than there should be. And I've got plenty of 18 count white Ada. I don't really need it, but maybe I could dye some. That would be fun. I love dyeing fabric for no reason. So yeah, I'm going to be working on this, chugging along. You're going to see this in every single video until StitchCon probably. So just got to do 1,600 a week. Okay, and then the last whip I had was Scrolls of Sumatra, which I've only worked on today so far, but this will get a lot more work done this month because it was a whip go call for 4,000 stitches. So definitely you'll see a lot more progress on this. This is by Ink Circles. It's on a 32 count Golden Hour by Hand Dyed by Rolanda. And I'm also using Hand Dyed by Rolanda thread, and it's called Black Rose. So I have this in Erin and Amity from the Hathaway Stitchers made me this. It's like the funniest little like folio, but I had taken this to work and I had it like sitting on my desk, and then I realized how insane this looks, because first of all, I'm like the weirdest one in the office, but I'm like the only American in the office as well. Everybody else is an expat, and so I was like, they're going to come up and be like, what is that? Like, what is going on? And I don't want to have to explain this. I don't want to have to explain this. So I had to very quickly put that away. Because also on the inside, like the inside isn't any easier to explain because we've got coleslaw, just coleslaw fabric. bunch of bugs, which are cute, and then macaroni and cheese. And they're just gonna be like, what is going on? But here is where I got to today. Oops. So I was working on finishing up this big square motif over here. I just have a little bit more to go, and I'll probably finish that at work tomorrow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work all the way over to the edge and work the motifs as well, because I like to do the motifs and the border at the same time because it helps me not get off track on the border. And then once I reach all the way to that end, I think I'll come back over to this side and try to bring it all the way down to its bottom there, just so that I can kind of visually see what it looks like. I'm saving, there's like these big squirrels in the center, and I'm going to save those for last. And that will be like the final part that I stitch, but I'm going to stitch everything around it. And it's just like a very visually interesting pattern. I don't know that it necessarily like called to me for any specific reason, because I bought the fabric and the floss together being like, this would be good for a monochromatic piece. And then I just sought something out that I thought would look good on this fabric. So it's not like I was like particularly like, I gotta stitch that pattern specifically, but I'm enjoying it a lot. So I think it's hard to see the true, there we go, the variegation on this floss. It's like a very whiny kind of tone, and this is more what it looks like in real life. But yeah, I think it's a really good color combo, and I bought two big, what are they, like 25-yard hanks or something like that, so I should have enough, hopefully, because if I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I have like 23,000 stitches left on that, so you know, no big deal. And that was everything for my whips. Like, I put a lot more focus into like very specific projects, so this video is not going to be as long. So now we're into haul, and I didn't really get, my hair keeps like going in my mouth. What's going on? I didn't really get anything, except I did buy a magnetic board for my needle minders, which it's like affixed to one of the doors on this cabinet, which I still haven't organized yet because I've been busy. But I'll try to remember to take a picture of it and just post it in here, because I just needed like a better solution for my needle minders. And then finally, we're into plans. So first plan obviously is WhipGo, finish Squirrels of Sumatra. I already finished my first WhipGo call in like record time for me, so that was pretty cool. And then we have a friend gift exchange in one of my groups of friends coming up for like Christmas. And just today I got like the little extras in, and I'm almost done with the piece that I want to do, but I want to finish it with enough time where I can fully finish it and not have to worry about like, oh my gosh, I'm rushing to get it shipped out before our Christmas gift exchange. So I need to do that. And of course I'll show you guys what it looks like and everything after we all do our exchange. I also need to start Stitch North table gifts, because in spring of next year, we're doing Stitch North, and I would rather get them done early than, you know, last minute, because I have an idea that everyone's going to hate, and I can't wait to give it to them. The only person I think that will find it somewhat amusing is probably Michaela. I feel like Michaela from Cinematic Stitches will get a kick out of it, and everyone else is going to be like, why are we friends with this girl? And then I have a couple of weekly starts coming up. So this weekend, I'm going to do 90s Yeti by Rebel Italy. But I need your guys' opinion. So this is from that like Windows 95 game or whatever, where you would ski down, was it called Ski Free? Where you would ski down a mountain slope, and then like the Yeti would eat you. And I don't know if you can ever like can you beat the Yeti? I don't know. As a kid, I never did. The Yeti always got me. And I was like obsessed with that game, and the Yeti always scared the crap out of me too. So when I saw this pattern, I was like, I need to stitch that. And I might give it to my dad, because I think he would find it funny. But I don't know if I should stitch the text or not, because it says like in the end, the Yeti's going to get us all or something like that. If I decide to give it to my dad, I'll stitch the text because I think he'll find it funny. But if I end up keeping it, I probably won't stitch the text, and I'll probably just turn it into a Christmas ornament. I don't know. I have to decide. Do I want to give it to my dad, or do I want to keep it? Or do I stitch it twice? I could always do that. And then the other one I have to start is Forest Houses Beavers, which is an owl forest design. I already have raccoons going, and they're really fun to stitch, but I have the paper charts of these because raccoons and beavers, were both given to me. I think both of those were given to me by Amity of Boomerang Stitches. But I know Tara from Will the Woman Crafts also gave me a owl forest, but I think she gave me the dinosaur one that she did. So I can't remember who gave me what, but I'm pretty sure Amity gave me the 2 forest houses. And the paper charts are very easy to read. They're in color, and I usually hate colored charts, but for these ones, they work out really well for me because the colors are very distinct. If colors are blendy, I hate a color chart, but if they're like very distinct blocks of color, I think it's much easier to read. So I really like it, but the pages are huge. They're bigger than this. They're like a weird size because I tried to photocopy them at work, but they're bigger than this paper and like a weird ratio. So I don't know. I ended up having to photocopy like half of it and then the other half of it and then tape it together. But when I started the beavers one, or sorry, when I started the raccoons one, my process, it went really fast. I did a pretty big chunk in just the weekend, the 3 days that it got. So I have high hopes for the beavers one too. And those will be cute. I wonder, I can't remember how many forest houses there are, but if I finish those two, when I finish those two, not if, but when, I should get the other ones and then kind of put them in corresponding frames and hang them up together. That would be cute. It feels like I'm about to lose my voice. So I'm going to be done here. That is everything I had. This was a pretty quick update, just like I said, because I was really focused on a few big projects. And I don't know, sometimes I just get real rambly and sometimes I'm like, let's film it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you back here again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully by then I will have this all arranged, and then I can do like a Flosstube extra where I kind of tour you around that. And I still have my pile of things to be FFO'd that I said I wanted to get to and still haven't because I've been so busy. We had a wedding one weekend, Halloween. Those are the 2 things. Those are the only 2 things. So I don't know. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. I hope you guys have a great time stitching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.